Hi, welcome to SIOR Live. I'm John Celestri on the show floor in Scottsdale for the SIOR World Conference. And I'm really happy to have Jeff Gage of CBRE. Jeff,
hey John. Good
thanks
to see
for
you
coming.
Again. Thank you.
We've had a lot of talk about millennials. Damn millennials. What are you seeing? You were talking before about SIOR statistics. What are you seeing in the industry, and how does SIOR compare in terms of the change in population in business?
Well, composition of our membership. It was interesting. We had a slide, and SIOR has a very high bar to achieve the level of membership.
It's also an age thing, no?
No, it's not age.
Okay.
It's just experience, number of square feet. So by default, I suppose it turns into age because it takes you a long time to get to the point where you qualify. But in looking at the stats, we're kind of in a 20% of the workforce is millennial right now. And in the next 5 to 6 years, that's going to grow to over 50%. And if you looked at our membership composition, we're tracking right along with that, which is just an interesting statistic. So workforces that are clients of ours have that same demographic, and our company has that same demographic.
It really should come as a surprise to no one. Older people retire, younger people move in. It's the circle of life, as Walt Disney said. Can millennials and boomers play well together?
I think they have to.
Can they?
I think so. I think so. There has to be, the boomer, myself, the gray hair, has to have a little latitude and understanding.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I get it. We tend to be drivers. We tend to be task-oriented. We get up early in the morning. The team that I work with, they get the job done, but they get it done at their own pace, and that may be working till 9 o'clock at night, as opposed to starting at 5 a.m.
Right.
And for some older people, that creates a rub because you're not here when I'm here, and I want you here when I'm here. You got to get over that. You got to get over that.
That's a really good lesson, because I think it's so hard. One of the reverse complaints that I keep hearing from the millennials is that boomers are locked in the way things ought to be.
Right.
This is the first generation growing up, when you think about it, that doesn't have the oak-paneled corner office as a touchstone of success. They think very differently than, for lack of a better term, than we do. But a lot of baby boomers still have that, this is the way it has to be.
Yeah. From the perspective of our clients and workplace solutions, we're finding that the millennial don't care about the oak-paneled office, to your point. It's not viewed as a status symbol where you sit. Some of our clients who have CEOs who are in their late 40s, early 50s are sitting out in an open bullpen like everybody else. Right. So the whole work environment's changed. I look at it and I say, I've got to learn how to work with younger people because they're the future, not only within our office environment, but also our customer base. And selling someone, and everybody's in sales, selling somebody a service, you've got to know how they think. And frankly, we're different.
Yeah.
So the more I can absorb from the younger folks, the better off I am.
That's a really interesting point, because one of my touchstones, whenever I get into one of these conversations, is reverse mentoring. Mm-hmm. What does one learn from the other? And we talked about how baby boomers aren't really receptive to change, but in a certain way, millennials, and again I'm painting with a broad brush here, are also locked in the way they perceive business. So talk about that reverse mentoring, and what, if you have an open mind, can you learn from the other generation?
I think you have to have an open mind. I look at the mentoring as, remember the old tool makers, and when you were getting into a tool making position, you were an apprentice, and you worked and basically mirrored that person for a number of years until you got the skill set and you can walk out on your own.
You also kept your trap shut and listened.
Exactly. I find that the younger folks, don't think they need that training, so they're going to take that Maserati out on the racetrack and go 150 miles an hour, and where they don't have appropriate boundary lines is they don't have that gut feel when the car is going to go off the track.
Right.
So that's something they learn from the gray hairs, is how to bring the gut to the business.
Right.
But what I'm learning from them is I'm seeing that, challenge status quo. Come in and take a fresh look at a problem, and there may be more than one way to get to a solution. And if you have an open mind, and people, now work collaboratively, and that's a big element of their environment, you can come up with a different solution that may be something other than I've done for the last 30 years of my career.
For the first time in my career, I'm seeing change being driven from below, as opposed to change being driven from above?
Well, there's so much momentum. I mean, you have to look at the sheer numbers, and you say if you're not listening to 20% of the workforce now, and it's growing to 50, then you're going to be on the outside looking in.
Right.
So that's I don't know that that's elective. I think that's mandatory. You better pay attention to what's going on in the younger crowd,
or you will be outside.
Exactly.
Good cautionary note to end on.
Absolutely.
Jeff,
good seeing you, John.
Bye, and I want to thank you for joining us on Globe Street TV.